Alright, perfect. Hello everybody. We are going to play some awesome Bit Heroes today. Before we start up though, I need to do my usual preliminary madness. You know. Okay, advertisement. Boom. Brilliant. Music. Alright, let's pull this out. Boom. Wonderful. Alright, it looks like we are ready to begin some madness, everyone. Nobody's here yet. That's okay. Everyone will be here in a moment. Why is my mouse lagging? Okay. Also, you might notice that I accidentally wore a green shirt today, so I am going to be a little bit invisible. But that's okay. Alright, I think I know the issue, actually. Goodbye. Was playing another idle game in the background. No longer. Alright, let's go. Let's do the Bit Heroes. Alright, so it's still Kongsversary, which is nice. Jolly Invasion. Kongsversary Crate. Ooh, snap. Offense Accessory. 12 PvP. Basically all the usual stuff. Oh, perfect. We're getting all this loot. We might be able to do a thing. Kongsversary Kit, please, no. I was hoping that it would be for gems, but no, they decided to go for creds. This is so annoying. I don't have money, guys. I do not have monies. And they have a large dragon egg. I do not need a dragon egg right now. Man, I'm still lagging here. Let me see, what tab do I have open? Nothing. Let's see here, let's just exit out of absolutely everything. Yes, leave the page. Okay. Whatever, we're just gonna chill with it for a little while. We don't need our mouse too much to play Bit Heroes, right? Yeah, we don't need it. Alright, so it looks like today I got my stream started really stinking late, so we're gonna rush through everything here. Alright, let's quickly check the notes. Just new events available, so no new content, which is very disappointing. Let's check the guild to see if we're going to have a GBG. We're not going to have a GBG next week. Interesting. Alright. Let's do some PvP then. Oh, nuts. I'm actually going to change up my team a little bit here. Because I want to take advantage of the extra 3% damage. What do we have here? A bunch of people that I really don't want to fight. This is the issue once you get to my point, is everybody's super tough to fight. Alright, let's take down Wembo first. Wembo's going to be easy. Although I don't think it's going to be Wembo's going to be too much of an issue, except for that he's going to heal up the guy we need to kill. Alright, we're good now. I'm going to move myself to the back. Actually, I am best in the back because the extra damage from does not do much for Maybe at all. And the extra protection is really worth it for Mr. Quirk here. Okay. This might be tough. Oh, we did it. Got a quad strike on him. That's nice. Alright, one match down. Alright, so let's go ahead and switch this team up a little bit. Yeah, that's better.
Hey, we should do this again sometime.
Alright, let's hope that I don't get copyright stricken for any of this. Oh, wow, that music is loud all of a sudden. Oh, I accidentally exited out of it. My mouse is going crazy today. Sorry about that, fellas. Man, this is just not going well. My mouse is laggy. I'm closing out of everything. Music's playing too loud. Cave Story, though. Ooh, that's what we should stream, guys. Forget streaming. Well, actually, no. We need to finish Undertale first. But once we're done with that, let's do Cave Story. Okay, I tried recording Cave Story at one point in time, but here's the kicker. I lost some of the footage, so I never could upload it. But now we can just stream it, guys. We can just go through and say, hey, let's just play through it all at once. And that's another game where I think you can get multiple endings, so I'm not sure if we'll replay it at all. But it's gonna be good, I'll bet. And I still can't believe I haven't played any of these iconic games, you know? I guess that's what happens when you don't have a lot of money or time. But now I do streaming! So I have time, technically? No money, though. Alright, here we go. I do have a job, though, so that is nice. I am making some money. Granted, I'm not spending most of it. Alright, we've got to do all these raids. Nuts. 4 raids. And I only have an hour to go. Oh boy, that's tricky. So this is going to be a quick stream, fellas. We're just going to get through everything and then we're going to be done. We're not going to be doing anything fancy today. I just want to use up my resources, that way I can go to work. And where is everyone? I'm very sad, only one person watching right now. Yep. Okay. I did not know what to call this stream, so I'm just calling it quality gameplay for now. Because I'm giving you guys quality gameplay right here. Basically, as you can tell, there's an auto button going on right now. That thing is like the best player ever. Look at this. We are completely shielded up. Absolutely destroying everything on screen. You don't get much better than that. Could be faster, but I mean, this is what you get when you're free to play, right? Max you can get is a lot, actually. On a regular basis, the best you can do is really 8 times. I'm really sad. They haven't come out with a big update in a long time. I'm wondering if they're working on something huge or if they're just lacking motivation when it comes to Bit Heroes. Because honestly, it's really sad. I miss working on Bit Heroes. I miss all the updates and all the new content. Expeditions were cool. Yeah, but Expeditions went on for a month. And then they're having this invasion for another nearly a month. And we haven't gotten anything significant in that time. My apologies for the volume, it keeps changing up here. Oh well.
Rated everyone 10 and up.
We're not going to be able to do any world bosses, we only have an hour. But what we'll be doing is just getting through everything. I just need a set. I need one more set in order to get in order to complete Agony, man. I'm so excited for that. What else am I excited for in Bit Heroes? I don't know, I'm just thinking about so much stuff in real life. Got a bunch of homework to get done this weekend, including to read a bunch from an ethics book, and then prepare for a lab. Labs are always fun, aren't they? Ooh, I have 2 exams next week, too. I really should study for those. I mean, at least review before I go to bed, you know, that kind of thing. To pull up home, like, practice problems and do them on the stream. That would actually be honestly pretty funny. Bring it up right here. See what the chat thinks. and then I put down what I think is the right answer, which is probably going to be the right answer. We're still doing pretty basic stuff. I think the most complicated class right now is genetics. Today we just learned about... But what did we learn about today? Basically how genotypes and phenotypes are related. And we discussed haplosufficient and haploinsufficient alleles. We also discussed continuous traits and all that stuff. And heritability and everything you would expect. It's not as easy as Mendel made it out to be. Although if you understand any of the words I just said, you probably get it. This is pretty important stuff, though. The DNA, your genome, very important things, especially in the upcoming years. As we advance our knowledge in genetic engineering, that will become a reality. I mean, just today I was sitting there contemplating, well, we could make personalized cancer cells that they don't, how do I put this? They treat the cancer by going in, they don't kill the cancer, but what you would do is you would program a particular cell to produce a bunch of Cas9 proteins that reprogram the cancer cells to be non-cancerous, and then you would kill off your custom cells using a programmed immunity. So like you'd make them die if you gave the individual a particular antibiotic. And of course all that sounds very scary if you don't know what half of that means, but it's really cool, and I would definitely do it if I had the chance. Now what saddens me is that getting anything like that done would require... Well, basically, the people usually don't go immediately to humans. They start researching systems like that on other organisms, and this is the issue, is because you're working with the genomes of different organisms, and so there's going to be different requirements and different models that you need to use. It would be much simpler to just immediately skip and start trying to do processes like that on humans. Of course, you know, in more controlled environments first, where you're only testing it out in like clumps of cells that you've taken out of people, but like research is so limited, man. If there's any sort of risk, you can't do it at all, and it's sad. Like, if I'm willing to risk my life to cure my cancer, will I do it? Yeah, you bet I would. Almost anyone would. And not only would they be curing their own cancer, but they'd be possibly curing it of, you know, all these other people. Yeah, that's the risk. Currently, genetic engineering isn't reliable enough to do it on humans. Yeah, not really. We need to make it much more reliable, which we can do. We already know of much better proteins than CRISPR-Cas9, so it's just a matter of time to develop the resources with within those proteins. Yeah, so you guys are getting a science lesson today. Me complaining about how I'm not going to be able to do what I want to do because of stinking regulations. I get it, you know. You gotta treat people like people. You gotta be ethical about things. At the same time, I wish we could be more utilitarian in our thinking. It is certainly not as simple as looking at one individual. I think the reason that there is a lot of emphasis on the individual, though, is that it is married closely to the idea of intrinsic value. And without that in your system, it becomes very easy to dismiss the individual for the sake of the general public. And that's a very dangerous road to go down, as we've seen in, for instance, look at Nazi Germany. Well, yeah, they were trying to make a superior race by doing that, and they were doing experiments on people to better the human race, but at the same time, that's taking away the sovereignty of the individual and creating destruction. It's not a path we want to go down. So I guess the question is, how do you have a controlled utilitarian perspective when it comes to the government? And is that even wise? Well, yeah, I think it is wise, but to what degree would you be willing to take it? How would you moderate that, you know? It's not being moderated properly, that's for sure. Then again, maybe that's just my perspective. Maybe people on the other end would say, oh yeah, it's not been done right because it's not, it doesn't go far enough. We should protect that. We should protect the well-being of animals too. Something like that, you know? Or you need to be 99.9% sure instead of 99% sure, you know? Oh, I think that we're into... Oh no, we're still on Note Block. We're almost to Cue Mute Music, guys. Getting very close. Oh cool, Cray is starting a Tier 7 Heroic Olar. I need Tier 7 Heroic Netherworld, sadly. Because I do want that sweet, sweet tater set. For the cosmetic, of course. Oh, look at this guy's banana. It's so prestigious. Oh snap, it's a little bit quiet again. Why must you be this way, music? Please. Can you guys hear it just fine, by the way? I can hear it fine on my end, but I always turn my music way down in the editor. That way, you guys don't get overbeared by it. I know in some of my initial streams it was just like way up there. Couldn't hear me talking at all. But now it's good. I understand. I know Undertale was particularly bad. Oh no! I just turned my volume up. I didn't mark exactly where my volume was for Undertale. Because basically my volume's at something like 15% for Undertale in my editor. Because it's that loud. It's really that loud on my editor. So we're gonna do... We've got to finish up all that Undertale stuff, which is gonna take me ages. I gotta also edit all my other previous stuff and upload it. I'm liking this stream. Thank you very much, David. How long have you been here for? Have you been here for the entire philosophical rant? Or did you just come in? But yeah, once we finish up Undertale, then we've got to do Cave Story, and then I can't remember his full name. Kyung-an? I think it is. But one of my previous friends in Russia offered to buy a game for me on Steam, so that's gonna be good. I've been here for like 10 minutes. Yeah, okay, so you did hear all my shenanigans about regulations and making a good utilitarian political system. That stuff is interesting. I mean, I've never really... I want to see some debates on that. I always shy away from that kind of thing. Even though I know that's what I need to do. I need to, like, go watch some good debates on ethics and, you know, sovereignty of the individual or intrinsic value, stuff like that. But I think that there was like a 4 to 5 hour discussion between Jordan Peterson, Sam Harris, and another prominent figure that I should probably go watch through. It was interesting. I was watching the, what was it? They were... Man, I'm gonna look back in my history here, because I actually can't remember the name of it. I want to get the name of it for you guys. Oh, great, I have all the music. Yeah, what is his name? Kavanaugh Supreme Court confirmation hearing. Yeah, so he was heard for the Supreme Court. I don't know if he actually won or not. Let me go look that up quick. And that was interesting. I watched it for about an hour. Sadly, I had to go in the middle of it before it got good, like right before it got good. In the news. What's this? Okay, yeah, so basically, okay, yeah, we don't know if he's won yet, it doesn't look like, which is a bummer. But it was interesting. I really thought that a lot of it was silly. Because there were... Okay, so there was about 30% of what I heard was talking about how he would make a good justice based on qualities. For instance, he looks at the Constitution and interprets it, you know, in the right way, or he has an outstanding knowledge of the past and regard for it. That was only about 30%, though, about actually talking about his character and why, and all of it was praiseworthy. They were saying, oh, you know, he'd make a good a good senator for this, that, and the other thing, but the other 60% was people saying, oh, he would make an awful senator because he disagrees with me on one issue. That's exactly... And I was just sitting there like, guys, that's not how you do it. I mean, you're gonna disagree on issues. You should at least disagree on 50% of things. That's inevitable. What you need is someone who's willing to work for America, do what's right for America, interpret the Constitution correctly. That's what you need. It doesn't matter if you disagree on a few things. So that's what annoyed me about that, was that people, their main criticism of him was that, oh, he disagrees with me on abortion, for instance, or he disagrees with me on, what was it, affirmative action. Which I found interesting. Sadly, yeah, I left as it was getting good. They brought in... Well, actually, I'm not going to talk about it too much. I don't want to be too controversial on here. I'll go look at it later, and then maybe if I think it's interesting, I'll give my 2 cents. Yeah, I find that interesting. You would think that there would be more substance there, coming from intelligent people. Oh, by the way, David Mortiz, do you know anything about Bit Heroes, or is this game completely foreign to you? Because this is what I usually play. This is my 40th stream of Bit Heroes, so yeah. Man, 40. How much of my content is Bit Heroes then? I have uploaded 297 videos. A lot of them are private, but... So let's just say 50 for an estimate, so that's like 1/6 of my videos is Bit Heroes. It's quite a bit, man. A lot of it's Minecraft from back in the day. It's new, but it seems cool, yeah. So it's a turn-based RPG. I mean, you've probably gotten the gist of it by now. I really should go. I could probably upgrade some stuff. We'll go see. Currently, I am grinding to get the last set piece. Unfortunately, I'm not actually grinding directly for the piece. I'm grinding for materials that can help me upgrade it later on. I have to organize a world boss in order to get it to work. And world bosses basically have 5 people in a team that fight against a boss, and these people have to actually be there, unlike people right now who are just off in La La Land. I can just use them whenever I feel like it. But you actually have to get a team together and go through that, and I'm not good. I am really bad. So that means I have to organize teams, because nobody will accept me. I can be very demanding. I can say only really, really good players can be in my team, but I can't go into a team. Yeah, I guess that's the benefit of being a really powerful player, is everybody asks you to be in their team. But anyways, oh snap, a bit loud. Sorry about this. And well, the reason that's concerning is that it takes me like, well, yeah, around 20 minutes to get suited up, get the team ready, and then it takes about 40 minutes to an hour to do all the world bosses, which is not a little bit of time. That'd be my entire stream, basically. Although we are moving through this stuff quite quickly, we still have 40 minutes to go. It's pretty good. Where'd I put? Okay, I put it over there. Getting close to that boss. But yeah, David, if you're ever interested in Bit Heroes, definitely let me know, and I can add you in game. And I am quite far along, as you can see, level 284. Man, I've been playing for almost 2 years. I'd say about a year and a half. A little bit more than that. David says, maybe I'll play it at some point. Awesome. Sounds good. It's on Steam. It's on iOS/Android. It's also on Kongregate. You can play it online. I highly recommend you getting a Kongregate account first to save your data, and then you synchronize that with all your other accounts. That way you have it on any device at any time. Pretty fun. Definitely a good time waster. Actually, no, not really. It doesn't use up a ton of time. I can do this in the background of doing anything. It's quite simple. Actually, let's go ahead and check to see if we can make anything right now. I know we might be able to reroll our mount. Nope. I need 21 more mount guts. Do I have any other mounts that I could... Nope. I don't really have anything else. I could throw this guy away, but I don't need to. Wait, what? Is he... Speed? Oh, I remember. So I'm confused because I'm like, why am I not interested in upgrading him? I need 4% of a DPS stat in order to take him. Speed is good. Speed's a good bonus, though. Let's go ahead and check out runes. Only 400. Oof, I'm a long ways away. I need 1,000 for this next meta. And I'm really hoping for Gale, although we have not been lucky so far. Let's see here. We have almost all the legendaries besides Gale. And we've gotten repeats of most of those ones too, so it's a sad day for me. We already changed our runes if I remember right. Let's go ahead and grab this. We might do a few dungeons. It looks like we need to do a few of those. Cross those off our list. Hey, good to see you, Titus Horny. Nice to see you again, my man. How's it been going for you? I've been doing alright, myself. I've been thinking a lot lately, which is good. It's also bad because it makes me a little bit depressed, but it's good overall. I think it might have been Undertale's fault. I think it was Undertale, to be honest with you. So I played Undertale, and I played as if I was making all the decisions in real life, and I was very conscientious about every decision I made in that game. As a result, it just got me thinking in general. I think maybe my ethics class too. That made me think a lot. But those paired together, it was just like... Oh man, just for reference, how dare Undertale do that to you? Yeah, it's good though, it's good. Just today, okay, what did I talk about today? What did I discuss with people today? So at the beginning, I talked to someone about motivation. Then I talked to someone about big goals in life, and then I talked to someone about, what was it? We talked about voting. I talked about, what else did I talk about today? We talked about offense. We talked about words, like the meaning of words and how should we preserve them? Should we try to preserve them? Slurs, stuff like that. You know, delving into that deep water. Oh, by the way, hello, Anthony Rose. If I was an Undertale, I would kill any monster in my way. Yeah, that might... Yeah, you know, play Undertale like that, man. It's going to be interesting. Make every decision as if you actually encountered that monster. At the start of Undertale, I was scared of the monsters, man. I didn't like the frogs and stuff. I was just like, ugh, frogs. Ugh, gnats. But eventually I was fine. We worked it all out. And then I only killed Flowey, so that was pretty cool. I can't wait to do a pacifist run of that, and then of course a genocide run. I'm gonna challenge myself on pacifist and say that I cannot flee a single battle. I have to only use axe in order to spare them. David said, I would even kill Toriel if I had to. Yeah, I mean, okay, if you were really in that position, wouldn't you be terrified? Because she's throwing fire at you and magic attacks. And, I mean, you can run away, you could kill her, or you could try to reason with her, which she wasn't willing to reason with you, by the way. She would just completely ignore you. So yeah, I mean, that would be one of the most logical options. I think I did try to kill her at one point, but I failed. So I kept trying to reason, because I could run away, so I just kept running away and trying to reason with her. Yeah, I would probably murder her, says David, pretty much. I mean, you might not notice towards the end that she won't kill you at all. Like, you can't die to Toriel. But, anyways, what was I talking about? So I talked about all of that. Want to hear a fun fact, says Anthony? Yeah. Okay, so we were talking about, we talked about offense, the slurs. Then after that, we talked about, what did we talk about? We talked about PG-13/R-rated stuff, which I won't get into here because I like to keep my streams PG. We talked about... What did we talk about then? Some more PG-13 stuff. Then we talked about religion, and yeah, basically they pummeled me and asked a bunch of hard questions all at once that I couldn't give all my answers to, so that was fun. Yeah, it was a good day. I mean, like, any day that I can talk about that many things in one day, that's really good, I think. Anthony Rose said, "The first time I heard RPG game, I thought there were games with the rocket-propelled grenades." Oh, that's great! That's great, man. Okay, yeah. I love that when you don't know what the acronym stands for. I think my mom, she didn't know what LMAO meant, and so she was using it on Facebook, and she's a very upright woman, so when she figured that out, she was like... Also, I remember when I was in, man, should I really be talking about this? Yeah, okay, it's fine, because if you don't actually know, you don't know. When I was in middle school, one of my classmates said WTF, and I didn't know what that meant, and so I went around asking everyone, and nobody would tell me, and one of the teachers freaked out when I asked her what it meant. I remember that. Oh man, the good old days when I knew nothing. I miss those days. Before I knew all the swear words. Oh man, that was great. I used to not know all the swear words. That was awesome. Now I do. Because you know how they always, like, bleep them out on television? Like, they put F and then star, star, star. I never knew what that word was. I still know nothing, says David. Yeah, you have a lot to learn, young one. Life is massive. I'm nowhere near knowing anything. Oh man, there's a philosophy video I want to upload. It's called Why You're Wrong. I still need to get around to editing that. It talks about that a little bit. Oh yes, we got a legendary! Wonderful. Perfect. And also, I'm sorry about the green shirt. You can see right through me. The only thing I know is 2 plus 2, says David. Yeah, it's 15, right? Oh, I didn't ignore the boss. Let's go ahead and throw this thing away. It's 92, right? No, it's 13. Oh, yeah, it's 92? Did they change math? I thought it was 13. Man, they're crazy. Oh wait, no, it was 22. Okay, seriously though, I saw a really cool video a while back. That's what my teacher said, it was 92, yeah. I watched a cool video a while back where, should I talk? Yeah, let's go ahead and talk about this for a little bit. It was a criticism of the school system and their obsession with subjective truth. I finally accomplished something since Titus, yeah. And what happened was a student came into class and he was upset that the teacher said that the answer to 2 plus 2 is 4 because the kid thought the answer was 22. And he took it to his parents, and then his parents got mad at the teacher, and then the principal got mad at the teacher, and then all of a sudden there's this huge national controversy about how this teacher is terrorizing her students and not you know, she's not open-minded and she's not willing to see other perspectives because 2 plus 2 can be 22 or it can be 4, you know. I thought that was pretty funny, and then, that wasn't pretty funny, that was just, like, really overboard. And then in the end, so here's the funny thing, this is what I thought was the most profound part about it, is that, at the very end, she was confronted by the principal and the press, and she was pressured to apologize, and she didn't. And so he said, well, unfortunately, we're going to have to let you go. And he said, well, we still have to give you your salary, so we're going to give you, what was it, like $200 for your work here, and then your $200 pension, or I really don't know what they were. And he said, okay, so that comes out to $400. And she said, no, that's $2,200, or it's $2,200. And then it ends there. Which I thought was hilarious. So basically, yeah, you're not willing to... So, I mean, okay. You're sticking to the subjective truth, but only when but only when it suits you. So as you could see, during the entire thing, he was like, oh yeah, 2 plus 2, that could be 22. But at the end there, he was like, oh no, it's 4. You know, I don't want to pay you $2,200. People these days don't know what they are doing. It was a short film movie slash, you know, it was a mock-up. It wasn't an actual thing. David, don't worry, people aren't that stupid. But it is criticizing that idea that people think that these things that are so fundamental could be interpreted otherwise. And that people interpret it that way, not necessarily because it's true, but because it benefits them in that moment. And even people who see the truth are willing to sacrifice that to make a point or... Well, actually, I don't think that was more of the point. I think it was more the point that, yeah, people believe what they believe because it's comfortable, not because it's right. I mean, that's a profound thing, because a lot of what you think is true because you're comfortable with it, not because it's actually got a better argument or it's actually more logical. I'm going to be here a long time, says David Mortiz. Thank you very much, David. It's good to have you. Now, let me point out one thing here, is that these stories are so good. Thank you, I'm glad. I'll keep telling them that. But, what was I saying? It is... I don't think it's completely wrong to believe something just because it makes you comfortable, and not necessarily because it's true. I think that if you value comfort more than truth, I think that's okay. To some degree. Alright? But I don't think that... Or do I think that way? Because what about... So here's the thing. Karma is a bad idea. It's not true, right? Or is it a bad idea? Because we've had this discussion on stream before, actually. You're my new teacher, says David. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. It holds you accountable for your actions. The karma system does. Yeah, sure, it's not true, and we can prove that very, very easily. But is it better to live with accountability, even though there might not be accountability, and believe that lie, than to live in the truth and live without accountability? I mean, I would prefer to live with accountability, to be honest with you, even if I was believing a lie. Now, there might be a bigger truth behind the truth that initially underpins karma, which might be, you know, important to go look at, but there's situations where believing a lie isn't necessarily bad. I'm your Padawan, says Titus. Awesome, I have 2 followers right now. We just ramble about philosophy all day. Alright, so where was I going with this? But yeah, most of the time, what you believe is... Okay. There's many phenomenons in the brain that drive us to stick to things that we are comfortable and familiar with. The general name for it is cognitive bias. So, let me give you an example. I'm trying to make up a good example here. So, if I think... Well, alright, I'm just gonna make a general statement. So, if you believe that a particular thing is true, then whenever you're pitted with evidence for your thing, you're gonna be like, big plus. That's like plus 2 points for my thing. But when you're pitted with evidence that contradicts what you already think, you're gonna either ignore it or it's going to be, oh yeah, you know, that's maybe plus a half evidence for the other thing. You don't actually rationally consider the two options because you're more comfortable with your current worldview, and to change it takes a lot of effort, and you don't want to have to take the time and effort to do that, even though you're going to constantly be pestered by that constantly, which is going to end up costing you more effort if you just changed your view. My dad's actually getting his master's in religion and philosophy. That was pretty cool, Titus. What are some interesting things he's taught you while working and getting his master's? David said, there is a difference from opinions and facts. I know this song. It's called His Theme. Yes. His Theme from Undertale. Except it's not. It's called Hopes and Rainbows. Because this is a remix of Mario Kart and Undertale. Look at that! Rainbow Road plus His Theme. Isn't that cool? Oh man, you know what I forgot to ask my friend today? I don't know how to reach, what's his name? Asriel Dreamer in Undertale. I don't know how to get to that boss fight, and I want to do that boss fight at least once. Even though I haven't seen it at all, I'm just curious. None, but I'm homeschooled, so he's going to quiz me a lot. It sounds fun. What are some things you, yeah, okay. Yeah, that'll be cool to hear some from there. How old are you, by the way, Titus? Because some of those things, they can be... Well, actually, I'd say, like, as... I can explain basic philosophy to 8/9-year-olds, and you can get pretty deep at 10 years old. I think you can go almost... I think 10 years old, you can almost go all the full mile. I think once you reach 12, you can go pretty much anywhere with your with you know, talking about topics. David says, this is epic. Sweet, man. That's great. Yeah, I love it. This is one of my favorite pieces by Noteblock. That's the artist, by the way. Noteblock is one of my favorite artists. Go check him out. He does amazing remixes. He does not get enough credit. Titus says 12. Perfect. Yeah, so you should be pretty good. I would not feel ashamed talking about pretty much anything with you. Actually, I don't know. Maybe, you know, don't go too far into it. Don't... Be careful when talking about nihilism when you're 12. Which I guess is the ironic thing, because you see, I'm sitting here talking about all this stuff, and my audience is probably... I mean, my target audience is probably, like, around 12 years old. So yeah, maybe I should... I don't know. I guess I want to... My goal here is to be a good role model, and I think that you really need to consider all of these deep, controversial topics in your life. I think that's fundamental to you and developing as a good person. So I'm not going to care. I'm just going to keep talking about this stuff, and I'll keep the most controversial things to my philosophy videos. David says, only pacifist mode can you fight Asriel, and don't kill Flowey. Oh, really? Interesting. Perfect, then I can't wait to do that, because I'm going to be doing a true pacifist. Why you don't share other gems? Why don't you share some other gems? Maybe in a little bit. I have to think of some more. David said, you already are a good role model. Good, that's my goal. That's what I want to do here. I think that's... oh, hello, welcome, by the way, Twitterbird. Glad to have you. It's been a while. It's been a while. Well, actually, you've been in the streams in the past week, so... I got my first legendary yesterday. Dude, that's awesome. Congrats. Oh, sweet. That's awesome. What was I going to talk about? Yeah, big issues. Well, actually, I can't talk about what I think the big... Well, there's two issues that I think are the biggest issues in America right now. Number one, I really can't discuss because it's PG-13 in its nature, but the other issue I can, which is role models. But let me read a few comments first here. David says, Asriel is the final boss in the pacifist route. Okay, I can't wait. I'm going to really enjoy that then. And then, of course, Sans. I can't wait for Sans on Genocide. I really can't wait to fight Sans. And Undyne the Undying. I've heard that she's tough. I know that since I've done Pacifist. Oh, perfect. Okay, what was I saying? Alright, so let's talk about role models for me. Yeah. What's his name? I really like Ravi Zacharias, and one of his insights really hit home, and it has been reassured by various other role models I've had, or other people that I admire and agree with in terms of what they think and say. But Ravi put it very wonderfully. He was talking about, he's from India, and India is suffering a lot of problems right now, or at least was when I heard this thing that Ravi was talking about. He went there, and he was talking to some of the big figures in India, and they told one of the guys. They told Ravi, the issues here is that the kids don't have anyone good to look up to. All these famous people, all these singers and rock stars, they go out, they drink, they become promiscuous, and they do all these horrible things, and that's who these kids are looking up to. They don't have anyone with hope. They don't have anyone who's pursuing something meaningful and preaching that. And as a result, this is what we've ended up with. And you look at that, and that's the same case here. I mean, who do you look up to here? You can't. I mean, who really looks up to Donald Trump or Hillary Clinton or Obama? Obama, maybe. I could see that. But, like, those aren't people you can or should look up to. There's a real lack of people that are pursuing good here in the U.S. Actually, I don't think there's necessarily a lack of them. There's just not a lot of them around to the point where you can look at them and constantly be involved in their life and look up to them. Yeah, so what you get is a small segment of people's lives. These news segments are 5 to 10 minutes long, and that's what you see of someone. And only the most dramatic people get shown there. And obviously, that doesn't work out. I'll talk about that a little bit here. I'm going to read some of the replies here. You do not want to fight Stans. I do want to fight Stans. I'm still stuck on him. I've been fighting him for lots of hours. Yeah, we might do the bad time simulator, because I know that one goes a little bit faster. Grand Pro X says, are you a teacher? I am not a teacher. I don't intend to be for various reasons. I guess you could consider me one here on YouTube, because I do philosophy stuff from time to time, and I mean, like, right now we're just talking. We're just talking about all sorts of stuff, so. David says, I look up to you, Link. Thank you, man. I really appreciate it. I'll try to be the best role model I can. And do understand that even the people that you consider to be great role models do slip up sometimes. I uploaded a video a while back of Jordan Peterson. He drops the F-bomb in his video. And normally he doesn't do that. He's a really, really great guy. I look up to him. He's the one where I get most of my fundamental thoughts from. But yeah, I mean, he's not perfect. He messes up like that from time to time. Titus says, sadly, I gotta go. I'll join in next stream. Like the topic you're talking about. Keep up the great content. See ya. Thank you very much, Titus. I hope you have a brilliant day. You really deserve it. Grand Pro says, I'm not even joking. I started school on Tuesday, and you reminded me of my English teacher. Oh, that's great. English teachers can be so cool. I think the biggest impact a teacher ever had on me was my English teacher. I also had a history teacher who had a pretty significant impact on me. He was rough at the start, though. He was a hardcore Republican, and he was super knowledgeable. Like, he knew everything. Like, you could not debate with this guy at all, and he would talk for hours if you let him. So I really had to, work with him in that regard. Because I was more sensitive. I'm way less sensitive than I was back then. Back then it was like, you can't be rude, man. Now it's like, okay, I get that you're being rude in jest, but, Yeah, so that was pretty tough working that out because he had a tendency he didn't seem to me to be able to look at the other side, which I didn't like. I think you should be fair-minded in that regard. Which is one of the reasons I'm glad to be here at ASU is because pretty much all my best friends right now I disagree with on most things. Alright. Why did I start talking on that random spree? Grand Pro says, exact face and everything. Oh, perfect! Yes, you should have seen my Megalovania fight. I was striking poses and stuff during that fight. I loved it. Suspicious enough, very suspicious. Maybe he is a teacher. Grand Pro says, I really don't understand politics in America because I'm not from the USA. I'm from New York, says David. Alright, so you want to understand politics in the US? I found that this worked very well. Basically, there are states and there's the federal government, which oversees the states. The debate is who should have more power, the federal government or the states. On any issue, if the federal government they want to make the federal government have more power, Democrats want that. If you want the states to have more power, that's Republicans. Libertarians basically hate the federal government, so they want way, way, way less power for the federal government. And so that's political parties for you. Very toned down. There's some more complicated theories to that, such as, what is it? Democrats are more comfortable with uncertainty, and what is it? Democrats are more I can't remember. More comfortable with chaos or order. Democrats obsess more over order. I can't remember. Anyways, but that's the basic gist of it. I'll give some examples here in a moment. There is too much thinking. I'll be right back. Sounds good, David. Grand Pro says, I understand that part. I just don't understand what the Republican Democrats' goals are. Well, like what I said, the Republicans' goals is the Republicans focus primarily on economics. They care a whole lot about economics. They want a free market, and in order to get the freest market possible, they want minimal government influence. So regulations are typically bad if you're a Republican. In addition, you want small federal government because big federal government means A, less power for the states who are able to better address the problems of the individual citizens, and in addition, it just isn't good for the economy in the various states. Though again, that goes back to regulation. Democrats care mostly about civil rights from what's claimed. So you look at any issues such as gay rights, the Democrats will be pro-gay rights. If you look at, they really care about their minorities and really care about giving making everyone equal. Now, here's the issue, is that can be interpreted several different ways, and that's controversial, because some people will say, we want equality of opportunity, and other people say, we want equality of outcome. Pretty much every reasonable person will tell you equality of opportunity is the important aspect of that. And typically, Democrats and Republicans would agree on that more, but the Democratic Party's more so the one who is their okay, so alright. In addition, the Democrats and Republicans are often considered, liberal and conservative. So on the conservative side of things, you have people who typically want to stick to the tradition. And on the Democratic side, you have people that are more liberal, and that means that they're more comfortable with change. So they're going to go through, they're going to change the system, they're going to try to make things better. So each of them wants to make things better in their own way, they just disagree on how. But what's a good example? So gun rights. So Republicans are pro-Second Amendment because that's more right to the state and the individual. Whereas Democrats, if you're going to have someone who's anti-Second Amendment, they're going to be Democrat because they're the ones who are wanting more power to the federal government. They have more faith in the federal government. Grand Pro says, honestly, I'm against Trump, but I get annoyed when people disagree with him building a wall. If you are a Mexican and you want to go to America, you will be dedicated enough to get a visa. The stream is almost an hour, so close. Yeah, we have 7 more minutes here, guys. Alright, so, I'm gonna talk about that for a little bit. Anthony says, for unknown reasons, I had notifications off. Oh, that's a bummer. Yeah, it happens. Okay. The wall... So here's the debate for you, Grand Pro. This is really what the, yeah, we're at an hour! Woohoo! Is, yeah, you're right. People who are dedicated will get a visa, but here's the issue, is that getting that visa is absurdly difficult, and way too difficult, many people argue. Even the Republicans I know say that it should be easier for people to come and become citizens in the US. Now, the Democratic solution to that is less than savvy, a lot of people would say, which is, of course, you know, well, let's just let people in and be courteous to people who are already here. Which, again, comes across as, again, people caring. They care about the people. Whereas on the other side, it's, yeah, we need to crack down on controlling the border, then maybe we can discuss these other things. I think, personally, that first of all, we need to get a system to where people can come in without too much of a problem, and, you know, of course, vet them well. And then you can institute border control, because who cares? Because anybody can get in now. They just need to put a little bit of effort into it and be someone who's reasonable to come in. David says, we haven't actually played the game for like 5 minutes. Yeah, we really haven't. I'm all out of resources now, so I'm just sitting here. We've been talking about building a wall. Yeah. Yeah. But I don't know. It doesn't... Yeah, we could talk about Trump for an hour, probably. I don't want to do it too much. Although, here's the one thing I will say, is that if you don't like me because I hold a particular political view, and you don't think my content is worthy because I disagree with you, then I don't want you here anyways. The fact of the matter is that we're going to disagree on some things, and I'm just here to, you know, reason. I'm here just like you guys, ignorant of the world and trying to figure things out and trying to do what's best. So let's work on that together. That's all I can say. Yeah, so maybe I should be a little bit more open. I don't know. I want to be fair-minded is the thing. I don't want to be like, oh, I'm going to push my perspective on you guys because it's the right perspective. Which I do feel as though some of the things I believe are particularly good, but I'm gonna be fair-minded. I want to be fair-minded about it. I'm going to get Bit Heroes tomorrow. Sounds great, David. Yeah, then you can be my friend. Let's just do a few OLARGs here. Alright, let me see here. So how long am I working again today? I work till from 7 to 2, so that's 7 hours. Oof. So I regenerate 9 resources in that time. We should be fine. We should be fine, guys. In terms of resources, which is nice. Yeah, definitely let me know what your in-game name is once you do get Bit Heroes, David. What else is there to say, though? I mean, today was a good day. Good day. Grand Pro says, I would like Mexicans to have a better life in America, but if immigrants are allowed in, it shouldn't be what the Prime Minister of Canada did. He just let people in, and all of our tax money has gone into giving... And he cuts off because Grand Pro is going to say a little bit more here. This is a very interesting conversation, yes indeed. I do have negative opinions on Justin Trudeau, so... But a lot of that, yeah. I do have negative opinions about him. Because he comes from more of that situation which I talked about earlier, which is equality of outcome and not equality of opportunity. Which I think is just, I don't know, it's not desirable. It's not desirable to get something not because you deserve it, but because you belong to a particular demographic. What creates a good society is where everyone can compete, and the people with the best qualities are the ones that win. I mean, that's the optimal society in my mind. So, I mean, Grand Pro says, giving immigrant money to buy stuff. One of my friends got a free apartment for being an immigrant. They get about 3 to 5K a month, while there's people working 24/7 being paid less. Sorry, not my friend's mom's friend's daughter. Okay. Yeah, so that's the thing. The Democrats in Canada is really democratic right now. They are very pro-welfare. And welfare, I don't have the best opinion of welfare because of that reason. Is because I think that if you can work, you should be working. I don't think you should have life handed to you on a silver platter just because you belong to a particular category. I think that... Okay, and here's the other thing that I think. I think that it should be the church's responsibility to help people who are in dire need. So I really think that the government should abolish all welfare and leave that all to churches to deal with, because that was originally what the church did. The church was to look after the widow. The church was to look after the poor. But now that the government does that, it's sucking out of the economy and giving unjust benefits. Now, there is a criticism there, which is that, well, the church could exploit that and only, help people that are willing to become Christian or anything, which I said, I don't think churches are actually going to do that, but, because that's not their job. Their job is to help people regardless of what they believe or think. I do think that the church does it more effectively, though, and I would prefer the church to do it. And that's my opinion on it. But yeah, I do see, you want people that advocate for lots of welfare, they want what's best. They want people to have an opportunity to be successful in life. The issue is that people are sometimes given more than what they need. David says, people think I'm weird since I don't like anything that is spicy or hot. Don't worry, that's me too, bro. I don't like any of that either. Grand Pro says, Justin is horrible. His dad was 10 times better. Yeah, I have heard that's the only reason he got into office, but I can't second that. I only know some of his policies. David Mortiz, you don't like the spice? Nope. Grand Pro says, I know some immigrants are nice, but there's so many more shootings in Toronto. A .2 ago, 10 immigrant had a fight, 3 dead, 2 months ago. Okay, got you, 2 months ago. Yeah, there has been, so here we go, I actually have to go here, so I guess I'll give 2 cents and then head out. I think there needs to be sufficient research on all of this. As you pointed out, it appears that increased immigration in particular countries has led to increased violence. I really think that we need good research on that in order to inform policies, and I think that we need to research the best system that can accommodate people in that regard. A lot of this stuff is just done on, well, hey, I have a particular political view, so this is what I'm going to do. I think we actually need to fund research that goes into it and explore some of these things. I think there is a lot of research out there already, and I think that we can utilize that. I really wish we had more of that approach to things. So, good insight, I guess is what I'm saying. All right, M-Bomb, you came right as we were ending. I actually have to go here. Oh! Looks like we got someone. Thank you, Sleepy Kenny, for subscribing. I really appreciate it, bro. So yeah, I'm gonna head off here. I'm gonna read a few last things here, though. Anthony says, "How to get from normal to dark in seconds." Next stream, I can show you graphs, news reports, etc. Perfect. Prefer not to know, even If I'm old, my mind is not the same. Sorry, Anthony says. Okay, great talking to you, says GrandPro. Thank you very much, man. David says, yes, potatoes. Yes, I love my little potatoes, the little guy. You guys should donate sometime. I have my own donation potatoes, too. My mind is too clean, says Anthony. Very glad. How to get from normal to dark in seconds, says Anthony. Okay, I see what you're saying, yeah, because the topics we're talking about. Yeah, I think this was pretty fun. Maybe someday we'll just, like, make a stream where we just talk about stuff. You guys ask me questions, I give answers, and we'll just talk about the fine things in life. All right. Oh, Grandpa says, oh, just you wait. You'll be getting a lot of donations from me in about 1 month. Perfect. Sounds good. Be able to afford games and entertain you guys. Maybe I'll donate some potatoes. Yes, that would be lovely, David. All right. I'm going to call it quits for today, everyone. Again, thank you all very much for tuning in. I think this was a fun episode, just sitting back and talking about some things. If you found this stream to be worth your time, please leave a like. If you thought this stream was not worth your time, please leave a dislike. And that's about it. Don't forget to contribute and make the most of your day because, after all, life is what you make of it.